Yeah.
Where do I stand?
You can pretend you're in a chair if you want.
I see. Oh, yeah, that works.
Okay. All right. Angela, do you see us now?
I do not.
I'm now seeing it in the Sweet Stitchers.
Yes. I see both of you.
All right.
Mario.
Hi, everybody. So sorry about the delay there. We had some snafus because we learned that Facebook likes to do fun things for business pages versus personal pages. So we have Angela, who is on my cell phone. She is on speaker right now. Angela, do you want to say hi?
Hello.
And this is Ian. And I'm Teresa. So Angela is of the Fabric Candy Shop, and we are both technically also of the Fabric Candy Shop, but we're also of the Crafty Nuisance. So we're very interconnected here. So the long and short of it is that Angela and I had gotten together earlier this summer to talk about doing teaching things and stuff, and that very quickly snowballed into Ian getting involved with website development, and then us kind of getting even more involved together with social media, marketing, other options for sub-alongs and things like that, which has then led us to this point where for the last, how long have you been doing all of the software stuff? A couple years?
All of what software stuff?
Well, like everything, from like the very beginning.
Well, I was born. I've been doing software for 20 years.
Yeah, okay, so we started kicking around the idea of Ian building software for my crafty needs, and I really wanted him to design pixel quilt software, and that started moving along, and then we kind of had the idea of, actually very recently, I mean, I had the idea, but we didn't actually do anything about it until about 3.5 weeks ago, and I said, well, if you've made this software for photography, so he does photography of mostly of our son for fun and my obsession with nostalgia, and he wrote software to help make more, what do you say, high definition mosaics of pictures to better use the contours within images themselves to make up an image. There's a picture that is of me holding my son Ben's hand, and Ian made it of pictures of Ben and our family and stuff. So we should probably post a picture of that on the Crafty Nuisance page. So then I said, well, if you've done this with photos, can you just rewrite the software to do it with fabric and make something of fabric? To which Ian said, sure, let me just whip that up. And you kind of did.
Yeah.
So we originally were trying out ideas for lines that haven't been released yet. And then we thought, well, we're really excited about how this is turning out. Should we try to do something with a line that's coming out now? So that was how, I have to point which direction, that's how A Wolf in Wolf's Clothing was born. So Ian took all of the gray work lines, the true colors and the main prints, and used them to create the wolf that is in the gray work collection. So all of those are, I keep pointing to the wrong side of me, sorry. All of those are 1.5-inch squares from the actual fabric. And they are put together to be able to use the features of each of those squares to build the outline and the definition for the eyes and nose and things like that. You have anything you'd like to add?
No. That's what it is. It's gray work, made out of gray work.
Hence, A Wolf in Wolf's Clothing. So, originally this was, let's see if this could work. And then when Angela and I saw the mock-up of it, we were like, this is awesome. And as soon as gray work started to come in, we went to work immediately putting it together. And as Angela and I were on many, many, many hours of FaceTime calls together working on cutting our squares, we started putting the panels together. We're like, this is actually even cooler than the coolest image we had ever seen in our lives. And once we started putting the panels together, it was just every moment, every day that went by, it was getting us, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And every day was sort of more exciting than the previous when I thought it couldn't get any better than it had. So, obviously, once we put it together, we were like, okay, we should not wait until a future collection like we originally planned. We need to get this to people pronto because this is really, really cool. So, this is where the Crafty Nuisance is joining up with the Fabric Candy Shop to bring you all really awesome stuff. So, technically, we've already been doing that with the workshops and things like that we've been doing that are also extremely awesome. If you want to make a big giant quilted bow, you should check that out for next Saturday because there is one happening. And we've been doing that already to have, awesome content and education for you all. And this is sort of bringing it to another level of being able to do these kits and patterns and stuff. And not to get too far into the other details of everything that we could do, this software to create the mosaic quilt is part of a larger suite of software that has a lot of options. One of them is the ability to do customized patterns for customers. And that is something that we're in the testing phase of right now. And I think we're probably going to end up rolling that out officially in the beginning of the year. So we may end up calling on a couple of people to be testers for that in the coming months as we start to finesse that a little bit more. So this, to make it clearer, there's the mosaic software, which is using fabric images to create an image. And then there's what will become the Pixel Quilt. It's called Pixel Perfect. The Pixel Quilt software that we will have some just regular Pixel Quilt patterns ourselves, but also the ability to create custom photorealistic Pixel Quilts yourself. And where Angela comes in is, it's really great when you have a friend who's like, not only do I have extremely good taste in fabric, but I also have all this fabric that I can make available for these sorts of projects. So, Angela is going to be kitting up a wolf in wolf's clothing, and we will also have a couple of, where did I put it? There. Can you hand me the Flisbee?
Oh, yes, the Flisbee.
So, this is also one of the exciting pieces that came out for a wolf in wolf's clothing. So, when the Crafty Nuisance first started, it was us making, me sort of just talking really, up about things that Ian could build and then building fun things for people, notions and things like that. So we've done stitch markers, Dorset button rings,
little screwdriver thing.
Yeah, little screwdriver holder for sewing screwdrivers. All sorts of fun little notions that you didn't know you needed until you had it. So, of course, when it came to making a wolf in wolf's clothing, he made the fabric Flisbee. And this is the prototype for a storage container for all of the squares. So you can keep yourself organized as you're cutting all of the squares. And you can pick it up and move it around. And so we're going to make some tweaks to this, and this will also be available for purchase with the kit options as well. So, Angela, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so. Other than the fact that we talk a little bit about this new unrolling of the wolf. The pattern will be hosted on a different website for now, but we're hoping to have everything on the website listed and directions on what to do by, what did we say, Teresa?
So, yes, thank you. Okay, so part of the details of figuring this out, because we are moving a lot faster than we anticipated, because this is just too cool to sit on. So we are going to have a PDF of the pattern. We are looking into being able to print the pattern and have actual paper copies of it. But the way that the pattern is formatted now, you can print it from your home printer and it will show you the panel and the pieces that you need to cut, and everything's already easy to print on a home printer. So our plan for getting gray work out is for the Crafty Nuisance website to host the actual PDF pattern, but everything will be purchased, the fabric, the Flisbee, all of those things, through the Fabric Candy Shop. Eventually, we will work them to be together so that if you buy a pattern through the Fabric Candy Shop, you will be able to access it there as well. So that is something that we need to work out in the future. In the short term, you'll be able to access it through the Crafty Nuisance website. So when you go to purchase, all of that will be made very clear in the listing, and you'll know exactly where you need to go to get things. And I think the goal right now is to have the pre-orders listed by midweek, so Wednesday, Thursday this week, to let you all have at it to be able to make an awesome quilt like this yourself. So I want to provide a little bit of explanation of how the pattern is created so you understand what it is and how it goes together. And we're also going to do, back up for a second. So the grid itself that we use to make this pattern as well as the pixel quilt patterns is the 10 Sisters grid. And 10 Sisters has amazing free PDF patterns so you can learn how to use their grid. So we are going to also have an option to get a sampler kit, so it will allow you to make one of those sample PDF patterns to learn how to use the grid before you actually start doing it with gray work. Part of that will be I'm going to offer workshops to show you how to do that and the tips and tricks and stuff that I have for Wolf's Clothing. And eventually that will probably end up becoming like a downloadable video. But for right now, we'll do those as live videos that you'll be able to join in and see how to use it. 10 Sisters also has tons of amazing content on their YouTube channel. And we are working closely with them as well to make sure that you all have exactly what you need to be successful in making this pattern. The other thing I'm going to sneak in here, and we got a little bit of a late start with my Facebook live shenanigans. Some of you Eagle Eye folks may have been looking over my shoulder behind me at that really awesome lit up bow. So that is going to be the basis of our Level Up Your Bow workshop that will be scheduled for November 15th. So this coming weekend would be your option to take the basic bow to learn how to make the bow. And then the following Saturday, you'd be able to level up to learn how to add lights to it, to add binding to it. The way that I have constructed both of those workshops, it's for Lindsay Grace Creates her reversible big giant quilted bow pattern. So I use that pattern in the basic bow class to teach you all tips and tricks for walking foot quilting and for putting the bow together. And then the level up will include embellishments to your bow, but it's also a lesson on doing binding and dealing with binding for the inner and outer points. So yes, you're learning how to make the awesome bow, but you're also getting some foundational skills at the same time. So it's beyond the bow, as it were. And because Angela is awesome, if you sign up for any of our workshops, you get a 10% off code to use at the Fabric Candy Shop site for your bow-related supplies and that sort of thing. Okay.
Can I interject something?
Yes, please.
Okay. So to back up with the Wolf in Wolf's Clothing, Our goal for this week was to make sure that we provide and order enough fabrics because, as you know, Tulip Pink lines are one and done. So we wanted to make sure that we had enough yardage to be able to cover the kits. Mm-hmm. So that's why we are kind of fast-tracking these, making sure that our pre-orders get posted. So we want to make sure that we have enough fabric. I have actually already placed a supplemental order, and those are not expected to be in until December, January. It is the last order that Free Spirit is ordering gray work. So there will be a limited quantity of fabrics available, but I just wanted you to know that if it's definitely something that you wanted to get in on and get the kit, and pre-ordering is imperative, because, you know, this is a line that's not going to be around for very much longer, and it's selling out in quilt shops now already.
Yeah, that is, I'm very glad that you brought that up. We've joked about how we're focused on the, like, exciting creative part of it, and Angela's bringing us back to reality of, you do realize gray work is selling like hotcakes right now. So the goal here, kind of to summarize everything, is that yes, the pattern will be made available. Yes, there will be kits. We will be getting a pre-order up on the Fabric Candy Shop site by midweek this week. It will be announced in the Sweet Stitchers group once it's up, and it will also be announced for the Crafty Nuisance page. And you'll be able to get all the information there for pre-ordering the Flisbee and the pattern, the kit, all that stuff. We really need to make sure that we get the pre-orders in as soon as possible, because there isn't a lot of option to be able to make a lot of kits for this particular pattern. So we want to make sure that you are able to grab it while you can. So, one other side note about that. When you make, I keep pointing on the wrong side, sorry about that. When you make this quilt, there are sections of the quilt that you have left over, little bits of. The thing that I'm working on next is adding a border to it to use up some of those scraps and give different options for people to consider for expanding it and then kind of finishing it out. So that will also be discussed on the Crafty Nuisance page and things as we get kind of further into the next week or so. So we do have some other exciting news that we wanted to share about show and tell that has not dropped off our radar at all. We did a little sneaky peeky saying, hey, stay tuned. And we are actually using some really awesome software that Ian has built to make something incredibly awesome for that pattern. So please stay tuned to the Sweet Stitchers and the Crafty Nuisance pages to be able to get information on that. We are hoping to get all of that up and out to everybody by the end of this month. So more to come on that. And we also have more workshops that are going to be scheduled for later in November and December. One of them is a quilt as you go hexagon ornament, and that will also give you options for being able to use up your scraps and things like that from your bow or from any of your mosaic quilts that you end up making. So look for those updates on both the Crafty Nuisance page and in the Fabric Candy Shop and the Fabric Candy Shop Sweet Stitchers to make sure that you stay in touch with all of us. And if I can please ask everyone to please go follow the Crafty Nuisance page. Part of our challenge today was that we don't have 100 followers yet, so we're not allowed to go live per Facebook until we do. So if you could please follow the Crafty Nuisance, tell your friends, send it out to everyone. That would be fantastic to help us next time we can properly go live. And Angela, you'll be able to see her lovely, shining, happy, beautiful face on camera as well. I know, you're thrilled about that. And we do also have an impromptu social stitching following this broadcast over on Zoom. So if you go to the Fabric Candy Shop Sweet Stitchers, it is in one of the pinned posts at the top to be able to join. And we will be starting that basically as soon as we hang up here. That will be on Zoom, and we're going to go until about 5 o'clock or so Eastern time today. So you can come and hang out with us. You can just stare at the wolf behind me the whole time if you want to. I'm not offended by that. I probably would do the same. Or the bow, or actually both of them, because you can see both of them in the shot. So, but otherwise, just come and hang out, do some stitching with us. We'd love to see you and chat with you and get to know you. And thank you for joining us. And thank you, Angela, for being on the phone.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks for the support, everybody.
All right. See you later.